Today we're unboxing a conversation with Achola Otieno, who is a voice for inclusion, belonging, and equality. Her perspective is shaped not just by what she does, by what she has lived and experienced. She leads courageous conversations many avoid about race, identity, and the spaces between being included and truly belonging, inviting us to look deeper into what it really means to be seen, heard, and valued. Welcome, Atiola.
Thank you. Talk
I'll call you Achi.
Both work. Achola, Achi. It's still me.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm doing good. I just came back from home. My other home. Actually, when I say home, everyone asks, "Oh, aren't you home?"
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
How is that for you? Like, do you feel 50-50?
I do sometimes
Oh,
because
okay.
I think it's not something that I see, but now like when I was in Kenya, sometimes I would call an Uber, and then when they see it, they're like, "You don't sound Kenyan."
Because
So
your accent has been
they
loosened?
say that. I
Ooh,
think I sound very Kenyan, but yeah,
perspectives.
yeah. So the bits of me that have changed. I think Kenyans are very like bubbly, very warm, very. But sometimes I just like I'm done. I want to go. Which
Oh,
yeah,
which is more Icelandic.
yeah.
So you can say that some part of you have been adjusted and
We are
changed.
climate knowingly or unknowingly, but yes, there are parts
Wow.
of us that have changed, and home can be very tricky, you know.
Yeah, true. I also hear this when I speak
Yeah.
Spanish. After I've been speaking Icelandic for a moment, like let's say an hour or
Mm-hmm.
two, and then I meat someone that speaks
Yeah.
Spanish, they go, "Oh, so you're from Spain?" I go like, "No, I'm from Ecuador." "Oh, Guinea, Bissau, Equatorial." I go like, "No,
No.
I have to like literally say something so that they know I'm
Yeah.
native."
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
how is your Icelandic? Will you say Icelandic has become also part of your identity?
It has. It has. I think because I moved here because of love. I moved here for love. And I met my husband and we spoke English for a long time. And then at some point we just switched. I can't remember.
Mm.
So now there are times where we would just be speaking in Icelandic.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes we're just speaking in English. Like sometimes my mother-in-law is coming home, is visiting us, and then she's like, "I've got a theater school," and I'm like,
We're actually supposed to because
"Yeah,
it's the
yeah, yeah."
language that's
So and I'm like, but that's the Kingdom Science School. Like we met speaking English, and
yeah,
now it's all. And then now we have kids, so
yeah.
it's a very bilingual family.
Oh wow, but that's so
And
good because
yes,
kids get advantage out of it. They
mm-hmm,
learn like 3 languages at
absolutely,
once. They
very
don't have to
easy.
do an effort.
Yes, I love that for them.
That's good. It will be really nice to hear a little bit. How did Ati
Mhm.
came to Iceland?
I think I already gave you a hint. I moved
Yeah.
for love.
But it will be really nice to go a little bit deeper.
Yeah, so I skip a bit of the my coming to Iceland, but I never thought that I would actually stay here.
Mm.
So by the time I was trying to figure it out,
Mm-hmm.
I was in Dubai then, and I met my husband through a friend,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a very strong connection. But then again, he was here, I was in Dubai, I was traveling all over the world. And I was like, okay, I don't know if this is anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back and we dated. We still like long distance. And I remember being here, I can't remember, it was a February 2010, around his birthday. And he asked me if we should just get married.
Okay. Okay.
And I thought, what kind of a proposal is that? It's like dead on arrival.
Because you
Like
have
it's
yeah, okay. So you arrive and then it's like proposal.
no. It was. I think I was leaving. I was gonna leave the day after. But just we were just talking, and then it's that moment where you're thinking, okay, you're leaving, and then yeah, he just said it like, oh, maybe we should get married, and I thought,
Wow.
why would you propose to me like this? I didn't tell him, but I was just like, I'm not gonna respond to this.
Oh, so you were taken off a bit.
Yeah, I was
Oh.
like, okay, if you're gonna propose, just do it right.
But what
I
is
not,
it right? What
I
will
don't
be
know.
right?
I
Like,
was just imagining this, like, ah, I've been so happy to be with you. Like,
uh-huh.
oh, how would it be?
Flowers,
You marry
roses,
me, yeah.
all on the streets of Reykjavik.
Well, maybe not that dramatic, but somewhere in between. Not just like, why don't we just? Because it will make our life easier. But I went back to Dubai, and then we were gonna meet halfway again. We used to, because I would travel. Sometimes I'll have European trips,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
those would be easier for him to meet me somewhere in Europe. So he had been to Amsterdam lots of times. I had never had any flight to Amsterdam, and I was gonna have like a few days off. So I said, "Oh, for my few days off, we can meet in Amsterdam.
Mhm.
You can show me around."
Yeah.
So we did meet in Amsterdam. It was such a good trip. He was having his birthday. He came. His best friend was also coming, like for his birthday. We had like this. I remember going to like it was like a boat disco for
Wow.
like queer people, and they
Oh,
know how to
oh,
party.
they do.
It was so nice. And then on our way home now in the middle of Amsterdam, then he proposed.
Okay, but
Then
that's
he,
sweet.
yes,
Yeah,
that
you
meant
like that
something to
one.
me. That like no, but it also sparked something to me. It was just like, remember I had mentioned this, so he proposed.
Wow. Wow, that's so good. So it took 2 times to get you. It wasn't that easy. But when
Yeah.
you arrived to Iceland, when was that? Like the first time you came to Iceland, what was your experience? Like you felt a
Mm,
connection with the island, or you were just connected to your
no.
partner?
It was I think it was in different stages.
Okay.
First of all, like I was here, was what was it, 2009, for around 5 months, and that was the warmest time in Iceland.
Oh, okay.
And we traveled a lot. We did the ring road, we went to the north, to the west. We Tourism was not blooming then, which meant like we would just be naked somewhere in some hot
Hot
spring.
spring, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And also
good.
tenting. And I feel like it was a trick to get me here, because it was, I was just like in this space where we would travel. I would open a book and I would read. And it was coming from being a flight attendant to that um, serenity is, I still want to go back to that moment. Like
Oh,
I would just open a book in the middle of nowhere and
wow. But
love it.
you felt the
Yeah.
peace
It was
Iceland has.
clean. There was a lot of space. The nature was just hugging you everywhere. And the weather was good.
Yeah.
2009, I think they still say like it was one of the best summers ever. It was to
Yeah.
trick me.
Yeah, it was the weather was incomplete, part of it, to
Yeah.
get you here.
Yeah.
And I'm very glad for it,
Mm-hmm.
because now you have been doing great things here in Iceland
Aw.
to help so many people about inclusion
Mm-hmm.
and identity, to
Yeah.
understand who we are and how we adjust to the climate, the Icelandic
Mhm.
climate, the European climate,
Yes.
and to stand for ourselves. That's also a big part.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I say it a lot. I think you really have to, especially here where our rights, because you arrive in Iceland and depending on where you're from, usually, and as a woman,
Mhm.
usually you're told, like, it's the best place to be a woman. They have been like leading in gender for, I don't know, 12, 13 years in a row. So, when you come here, you expect things to just happen.
Mhm.
But then advocacy is really important. You
Yeah.
really need to know how to advocate for yourself. And
Yeah.
because the system is just the system. And sometimes if you don't mention it, no one knows. But sometimes someone is trying to let you, to prevent you from knowing. And until like you articulate that for yourself, whether
Mhm.
it's for you in school, your work, for your children, at the hospital, it's just things that are very important to us. If you don't advocate for yourself, then no one will advocate for you. So your voice is very important.
Well, how did you got this, like, okay, I will start working for others that are in need for this specific
Mm,
space? How was that for you when you came to Iceland? There were
mm-hmm,
not as many foreigners.
mm-hmm.
So how did you experience injustice, or what
Yeah.
happened? What was like this drive that took Achi from, okay, the flight attendant traveling
I
world,
know.
now let me help you here?
Actually, I've been going back to myself, the flight attendant, and now because when I looked at my status then, I would just be like, in Hong Kong, in Spain.
Wow. But that's such a cool life.
I'm in Kyoto. I'm in whatever. Like because my audience was my other flight attendants who were traveling. So
Yeah.
if you're somewhere, you're hoping that either one, by saying where you are, people will advise you what to do, where to
Yeah.
go, where not to go,
Hmm.
or someone else is traveling there.
Yeah.
To now moving here, I would say, like, the honeymoon phase also. I was in a honeymoon phase for a really long time. And I think that was me also not planning at all. I moved for love. The idea would be like I would come and go to school and then like build something and then just get a job.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But it didn't happen in that sequence. I think
Mm.
getting into school also, I had some hiccups because I didn't speak Icelandic. Everything I wanted to do had to be in Icelandic. So I had to start by learning Icelandic fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was really adamant on learning. I started with language school, which I thought was very expensive at the time.
Mhm.
And also, when you just move into a country, you don't get the benefits right away,
Yeah.
which means
true.
you're paying everything full pocket. At that time, I think I paid around 29,000 a month.
A month.
Yeah, it was a month or 5
Oof.
weeks.
Sounds like a lot of money.
For that time, it was a lot. I don't know how much it is.
But like,
But then
even
also,
today, I will say a month.
yeah, and then I realized that majority of the people who were with me in class were either unemployed, they were being paid for by the union because they were unemployed, or they would get something back. So me, I was paying it off my pocket, and at the time they only had level 1, 2, and 3 didn't really progress that much.
Okay.
Yeah, and we had a really good teacher. We had a really good group. I remember I think we were very international. We actually really good friends until today.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
That's so
We're
good.
really good friends. And then we were like, what's happening? Like, is this doing anything for you? And we were just in that space where we all wanted to get something more.
Mhm.
Some of us went to Hawaii, to Achola Iceland, to do the BA. Some of us did not, but still we remained really close. And even today, like, I was in a conference the other day, just late last year, and I think the issues we used to complain about then
Mhm.
are
Mhm.
still the same today about
Will you say
Icelandic,
that?
about learning Icelandic. Yeah, it's just like in the language school you don't get that much.
So there is not much progression, even if you go to school to
Yeah,
learn the
I
language.
think they never really put focus on because in other countries, like when you see how they teach, Alliance Française or Goethe Institute, how all these languages, there's a structure.
Yeah.
There are levels.
And for me, when I
Yeah.
went to Denmark, I was
Mhm.
like, I just arrived
Mhm.
and I was already on a system that I have to learn Danish.
Yeah.
And then they go like, okay, because you went to you are at the university level,
Mhm.
you're gonna take level 1 university level. So that's like a
Ah.
different language. So I was like,
Yes.
and then I started looking at the different system,
Mhm.
and there is like escalating. So non-English speaker, English speaker,
Yeah.
academic, non-education behind.
Oh wow.
So this is big system around getting you adjusted to learn the language.
Yes.
And I'm very glad I passed, but but it was very, very fun. But I could see also the other students, how they were putting a lot of effort, and it
Yes.
was free. So people, it was like many people think, okay, because it's free, people will not put as much effort, but it's not true. People is actually using it and not missing any class and all of that. So
Yeah.
it's very good to have this type of supports.
It is.
It's
and also to
necessary.
have a structure. It's like, what am I learning? And I think that's what I got at the time. People who were learning with me had been to in Iceland for a
Uh-huh.
really long time, and I'm like, why aren't you speaking? And some of them would tell me, like, I'm Polish. My partner is Polish.
Yeah.
Where I work, there's not one single Icelander.
So how they
So
will
how will
adjust.
I learn? And
Yeah.
when I have a child, I'm speaking my language to my child. Like, there's no. It's so disoriented that I work 12-hour shift. I don't have time.
Yeah. Yeah. Many people are in the same box.
I don't have time. So you were asking me how I chose to help people. I don't know if I help people or if I see it that way, but I think it was a reflection of my own experience accompanied by my expertise. They were just both. I had a background in human rights before. I worked with refugees and asylum seekers, and I think that's at different in many ways. I think I usually come back to that. I gravitate to people who lack. I think I've always been like that, even as a child.
Wow.
It's just a concept that I see, like, if someone else, if I had a room of everyone and one person is bleeding, I'm just gonna run to the one who's bleeding.
Yeah.
It's I don't think that compassionate, but I think it's just in me.
Yeah. And that's like your drive.
That
It
is
turns
my
you
drive.
like you see someone
Absolutely.
that
Yeah.
needs your help, and then you just run for
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
It is very important that for us as foreigners,
Mhm.
we have a place or someone that actually thinks about us.
Yeah.
And the way that you're proposing this is not
Mhm.
just like if I am in need, I can run to you, but you
Mhm.
look
Yeah.
at the natives and you
Yeah.
try to educate them about me
Mhm.
as
Yeah.
a foreigner,
Absolutely.
so they
Yeah.
understand
Yeah.
me and they can give me this open a little bit the window so
Mhm.
we can understand and connect each other.
Yeah.
But did you any moment experience being misunderstood, or that your
Oh.
identity was not rightly reflected? Or how comes that it's very necessary to educate the native and the
Mhm.
locals?
I
Not just
actually
me.
I don't think the natives are still at the point where they think they need education. I feel like they're still at the point where they want answers, but they want to hold on to what needs to be done. It's like they would invite you and say, like, we've tried to get immigrants to vote or to participate or to come to extra curriculums, but they're not coming. And I'm like, I have ideas.
Okay.
Because
That's nice.
I come from a very fragmented background. We were talking about it off air, but
Mhm.
being Kenyan, what Kenya is very diverse in terms of ethnicities and just the geography, the way people, the cultures. It's not just like I'm Kenyan and I eat the same as the next Kenyan who's from the central part. Our cultures and mannerism, how we do funerals, they're all very different. That's what colonization did.
Wow.
So when we go to school as Kenyans from all these parts of the country,
Mhm.
first of all, we had to speak the official language, which is the colonizers' language, English. And of course, Kenyans as a whole, they had to implement like Swahili as a national language so we can unite as a nation.
Yeah.
But outside that, every Kenyan is from a different ethnicity, which is not even a dialect. I speak Luo. My friend who's Kenyan, whom you know, she speaks a totally different language. So in our homes, we do speak. So diversity was just there.
It's just part. It's like have
Yes.
been developed. It
Yeah.
is
So
already
it's not like
tested.
diversity was like something that we have to, it's like it's there.
Yeah.
We are not getting along. What do we do?
Yeah.
So there are a lot of elements that I would see that we just did it so naturally. And coming here, it's like people are protesting invasion of people who are already here and people who are already working. So it was very interesting that you'd be a profession either in a school or as a social worker, wherever you work, but you want my help. to help you bring more immigrants, but you don't want to give up that seat. And that's how they see it. It's just like, I think we have very few immigrants participating. What do you think I should do? And I'm like, I can help you.
Yeah.
But I need to be paid.
Of course.
But that's where it stops. It's just, you need to be paid. Okay. Maybe we can invite you for 10 minutes and then we can see what you can do. So it's almost like you're always being invited. But then I want to invite you, but I still want to occupy the whole space. But I want you to tell me what needs to be done. And I will carry that. Whatever you said, it's still my work.
Yeah.
It's not your implementation, but it's mine. And that's what we call gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of gatekeeping because people have not learned how to pass the torch. I think they haven't learned how to actually say, this is my expertise, but I know someone who can come in and help us enhance it. They want to be for it to be their expertise, and they want to do it by all means necessary. I don't know if it makes sense.
Yeah, I if I understand this correctly, it's like, okay, you're welcome to my home.
Mm-hmm.
You can show me how you make some specific dish from your country, but let me make it.
Yes. Yeah. I'm gonna. Oh, what do you want? Turmeric? Okay.
I have turmeric.
Yes. Oh, she said she wants turmeric. Okay, I have it. What else? Oh, yeah. Maybe you can add a little bit of salt, maybe. So I'm actually the one giving you the answers, but you don't want to leave that pot. It's just
so it's
yours.
like I don't want to give you they acknowledge that you did it or that you are the expert.
Mm-hmm. And it's not like I'm just saying it loosely. I think you can look at the top positions and just see how many immigrants work in those places and what contributions have the immigrants made. It's a lot. So the numbers already speak for themselves. It's not like
I have heard horrible cases, like someone that comes into a room with a specific idea, and they just put the person like aside, like the idea never came up.
Yes.
And then later you see the implementations with somebody else's face, with somebody else's name.
All the
and it's
points,
like, just because they are local, and it's not about nepotism, because I'm not talking about, because the father of their son or something like that. It's just that it's a native.
Yeah.
So in that sense, foreigners are not getting the recognition they deserve for the knowledge or contribution.
For their contributions.
So how come we're gonna contribute if we hear these stories? Like, maybe I should not care about this. Not worry. I mean, they're not gonna hear me. They're not gonna acknowledge me. But I want to belong, and I want to be included, and I want to be part. And this is the society I'm living now, and my children live here. And this is how I think. I was like, this is not about me. This is the country of my children, and I care.
Yes, absolutely.
So this is hard.
And when we compare the threat of the immigrants, the first thing is usually, look at Sweden, look at Norway, look at what they're doing there, look at Malmo. And I've been looking at that.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense that would be a threat. And I think what my work has done, it has humbled me in a way that I start with understanding. And if you start looking at that data, then you see that all these places they're mentioning, whether it's Denmark, Norway, Finland, they isolated the immigrants for a really long time, up to second, third generation. And then it's like, wait, these people have been part of our country for a really long time. Why haven't they integrated fully?
Yeah, true.
And if you look at the neighborhoods, just the education system and everything, they have been in the country, but they have been segregated, not like the American segregation where it was completely, red line.
No, that was
black
a
and
different
white.
type
But
of
this is still
division.
in the way that you do things. So you can have an immigrant who moves, and then they have their first generation child who is here, and that child goes to school and sees how the mother is being treated. And also when you're an immigrant and you move when you're older, it's much harder to learn the language. Some of them already have like their culture. What they usually do that they think it's better is moving them to the same neighborhood. So one by one, you have a bunch of I don't know, a
segregated
number. Yes,
community.
it is. It is.
I don't like that. I really don't.
But there are systems here. There's some systems that are done like that here.
So I don't know if it's like the system is pushing some immigrants to stay.
It's always the system. It's
Oh,
always
wow.
a system. And that's why sometimes when you don't understand the other person, the next person saying that, look at Malmo,
Mhm.
they're pointing towards a data that is very visible to them. Because what they're saying, they know 5 or they know 4 of people from X country
Mhm.
who don't speak the language and who don't participate. So they've already, for them, it's very clear. And then you are like, that's what they're saying about Malmo. But then we have not begun to understand the system
Mhm.
and how they got there. And this is what is important. I think the historical part of it and also all that is very important. How did it get there? And how did it get so many?
Yeah.
So like I was explaining, you have an immigrant who moves and in a way, sometimes even that system, people who work there think they're making their work easier because they say, oh, but it's so hard when people are so many who speak different languages. It's so hard for us to teach.
Mhm.
It's so hard for us to, like, if they're social workers, to go here and here and here. So what do? We put them all in one area, have the school in one area, and we're like, it's easier for us to go to them.
Mhm.
But actually what you're doing, you're creating a system.
Yeah. But that's happening in Breitholt. I hear this and I was in shock. That's like 85% or
There's a
something
school,
like that
yes.
is immigrants of
Foreign.
foreigners, immigrants.
Mhm.
And of course, there are some educated Icelandics that are thinking why they are not just spread around. And actually, I go back to think, how did I adjust? How did I adapt? And I was living in Isafjord, where no foreigners were.
Mhm. Yeah.
So it was very easy for me to learn Icelandic. Within 6 months, I was already speaking Icelandic, and I have
Yes.
so many Icelandic friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
And partying the Icelandic
Mhm.
way, having fun the Icelandic way.
Yes. Yeah.
But I mean, there were no other options. If I
Mhm.
had been growing in a place with just Latinos, I would have never.
You would never, because what would have been the point? You have your friends, you have your, like, the dance, and I think initially everyone is usually just shocked. What are we
Yeah.
gonna do with this number?
Mhm.
How are we gonna? And then they start doing that. And I've been asking a few people who work in these schools,
Mhm.
because now I was talking to someone else, another expert who works in a different school, and she
Yeah.
was like, we like everyone in the Bradle system love it because it's easier to teach, like everyone is different. And I'm like, that's segregation.
Yeah. I actually
looks
don't like it
Mhm.
because I have heard, I will not say where.
Mhm. You don't have to. Yeah, you can also
I
cut
will
it.
never say where.
Can also, yeah.
But I have heard that the Polish teachers, they implement also culturally ways how to teach their Polish kids. So it's not just the academic thing like
Mhm.
reading and writing.
Mhm.
It's also if you misbehave, you are corrected the Polish way
Ah, okay. In schools.
in schools.
Oh,
And
I
that
haven't
is
heard
like
that.
that
I
is
haven't
that
heard
is for
that.
me shocking because then the kids are not just being educated in their own language, which they have the right,
Mhm.
but they are also being taken out of the Icelandic culture to adapt
Yeah.
because now they have their Polish culture
Oh.
at the school, at the
okay.
Icelandic school. So I really don't understand why this is happening or
Mhm.
how they actually gonna stop it.
Yeah.
But at least we have people like you that is at least you know talking about these things and getting the natives to understand this a little bit better
Yeah.
because I don't understand for sure.
Mhm.
But of course the system needs to understand how
Mhm.
to fix these things.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And how to
Absolutely.
cut this from the root
Yeah.
because otherwise you will just have Is it multicultural, or what is it when it's different cultures in the same?
Multiculturalism. I think what we want is an integral country. We want one nation. We just want Iceland.
Yeah, I just want to live in Iceland.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
so we can be as diverse as possible.
Yeah.
But it's still like it's just we are like one system, I would say. And cultures are fluid, you know. I understand the point where, you know, we have immigrants who moved, and then all of a sudden you are like X, because it's happened really fast. When I moved, I think they were saying we were 8% immigrant population. That's including like the background. And then today we are 25.
Wow.
Or 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but still a lot.
That's a big number in such a short time.
Yes.
And so I have patience for just the normal people who are like maybe not in these positions. Like I like to hear where they're coming from. Like, why are you saying that?
Yeah.
What I don't have patience for is like professions who should sort of not increase this fear, like, you know, like the journalists and anyone who's in a frontline
all
position.
negatives.
Yeah, anytime
on the
you
news.
lead with threat, you are trying to create something in someone's mind. And I think it's not that it should be looked at, but it's something that we should have started trying to prevent it a long time ago.
I know you have so many stories about being not treated equally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there anyone you could share with us?
I don't know.
I
feel like
or at least around maybe the topic or the things.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes I have like this spark when it's just happened, because before I would like share something and then I would feel bad about sharing.
Oh,
and then
really?
sometimes, yeah, because the immediate response is usually defense.
And then it's like you become
I become
against
the
us.
subject. No, I become the subject, and then the act goes unnoticed.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's almost like it draws onto me, and then the next time I'll meet someone, it's like, oh, I saw this thing that you shared, and I'm like, okay, but what did you learn from it?
Yeah.
So I don't know if I can share anyone in particular, but I would say like I have faced discrimination in all sectors, whether it's school, hospital, work, bus.
Really?
All sectors, yeah. It
just that is a lot.
And sometimes
think about the story itself, because that's crazy.
I remember one time I had booked an appointment over the phone, and then when I arrived at the place, the lady was so shocked. She just stood there, just stared at me, just stared.
What happened?
And then I spoke, and I was like, are you X? I spoke to you on the phone. I have an appointment. And she stared at me again, and then she said, you're black.
Oh, no. No.
Yes. It's so nice that you can laugh about it too. Like, but this is the thing with incidents like that. Like later on, I just laugh. I shouldn't. But, you know, if I don't, then I would break.
What will you say to someone that experienced this? How will you advise them to navigate this situation? If someone comes to me and say, oh, you black, I will go like,
well, I said,
should I be a different color?
I looked at myself and I was like, well, the last time I checked, I was.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, the last time I checked, I was.
Yeah.
Like,
last time I checked.
Is
yeah, but why is that so shocked?
I just told her I have paid my share. I want it back, because if I don't get it back, I'm gonna report this.
Oh.
Yeah. So my money was refunded.
Oh, okay.
I didn't take their service.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's good advice. So just not take the service from people that's not treating you equally.
I also think my number, but I think it's usually you remove yourself from whatever is being said because it's not for me. It's
No.
yours.
Yeah.
Like any time someone has a negative thing to say about a group of people or about a person, the problem is them and not you.
But also this ignorance. There is a lot of ignorance.
Yeah.
And they really need to be taught about that there are black people in the world.
Yeah. But
You know,
I
these type of
started
things.
I started by teaching, but today
Yeah.
I'm against like teaching anti-racism as it on its own.
Ah, okay.
I'm okay with other people who do it. I think they can do it as long as they see an impact in it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it does more harm than good.
Okay.
I honestly think so.
So I also hear this,
Mhm.
you know, in society, like if
Yeah.
we keep talking about racism,
Mhm.
we are just giving a boost on
Yeah.
it and it will never
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
But I don't want to ignore that these things exist
Mhm.
because I have kids
Yeah.
and my kids are not completely white.
Mhm. Yeah.
So if we stop talking about
Yeah.
this, it's like saying you don't have another race in you.
That is correct. But by not teaching it doesn't mean that you're not talking about it. I just mean you're doing it differently.
Yeah, okay. But
And
tell me a
by
little bit.
differently is I think every sector, every speciality, they have to include discriminations that exist in their field. And there are plenty
Mhm.
wherever you look.
Yeah.
And I think if racism is only taught as an segregated topic,
Mhm.
it comes out as if it only happens sometimes. But racism it's built into the system. It's
Yeah.
built into everything. Like I can walk in a class and look at a book and see it. Not because I want to.
Books,
but yeah.
songs.
Mhm.
It's a lot.
Yeah, bandage, hair. It's everything. And I think that's what I do with my
Mhm.
work now. I think I've always thought that, because before what triggered me, I was
Mhm.
working in this place and I remember asking my boss if we could include anti-racism into the human rights policies.
Yeah.
And she was like, "What are you talking about?"
There is no racism.
Yes. There is no racism here. This is not America.
Oh my God.
She told me, this is not America. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And I was so taken aback because I'm thinking, okay, this is gender equality. How does it work to uplift gender but not race? How does it work?
Yeah.
Because women, I am both.
Yeah.
I am
Still
black and
about
I'm a woman.
equality.
And there are discriminations that I would face that a white woman would never face, ever.
Yeah.
Which means you're doing us this injustice.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, and I saw this along the professions. Actually, I've been in my work, I thought it was harder to bring it up
Mm-hmm.
with the human rights or professionals than just me talking with my colleagues who are not in the field at all. I would meet someone who is completely different field, and I would say something else, and they'll be like, "That makes sense."
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But in that field, especially around like human rights, it's like, if you look at things like UN, it's racism has never been included, because to do that, I mean, even now when we are voting for slavery as the gravest act, we have we have all the European countries who voted against it.
Oh wow. No, I didn't know that.
No, they abstained.
Oh, okay.
They abstained. Yeah. But my point is, I think when we treat racism as something that you want to make someone moral through one subject, it won't happen.
Okay.
I think it does the reverse, because people try to. Actually, nobody wants that word.
No.
The moment you say it, you've lost them.
Yeah.
The moment you say like this is racist, they will get offended against your offense. They
Yeah.
will get offended. And I started thinking, okay, I think first of all, when you do that work, everyone wants to lump things on you.
Mm-hmm.
I would get just random requests on my messenger, like, oh, this person went through this, maybe you can talk about it. Oh, this person do this, maybe you can talk about it. And this is from all kinds of people, both the Black people and also the specialists who work here.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just thought, they don't get it.
No.
And it's not my work.
No.
Yeah. So I have been trying to do things differently, and that's why I look at the system, I look at the history, I look at the structures. And if I come to your workplace, I would ask you, what have you done? How have you done it? You know, how do you want to do it differently? Because there are the better ways of doing it without splitting kids into a completely separate room that we're going to talk about racism.
Okay, but so
Yeah.
if we don't talk about racism,
We are talking about it. We're
But-
just doing it differently.
yeah, but
Yeah.
okay, we talk about racism, but
Yeah.
we are not addressing it as a racism topic.
Yes, you are. You're
Oh,
just
okay.
not, I think you're just not putting the focus on it as a special class. You're
Mm,
integrating into the system.
Okay.
Yeah. How you're questioning why we do things the way we do. And then that can be done with every teacher depending on whatever subject they do. Because
Okay.
sometimes also we get like an incident, a racial incident, some blah blah blah, something happened.
Mm-hmm.
And because they have not learned, and these teachers weren't taught, of course,
Mm-hmm.
they either sweep it under the rug, and if you're insistent, they will do it in a way that it harms the child who has already been harmed.
Oh, wow.
They will call that child who was called whatever word with the child who did the calling,
Mm-hmm.
and then they will ask them to apologize to each other
Uh-huh.
and say that I didn't mean it. You know, it's almost like
Is
telling
that
your
wrong?
child.
How should we handle it then if we're not just apologizing?
Yeah,
It needs
just
to be
feel-
maybe more teaching about it.
maybe asking why it was said in the first place.
Let's have a conversation.
Yeah, why did? But also it's different with kids.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But I
Of
think
course.
the best time to kind of address it is when it happens, and how you do it really matters, because it can either break or fix it. The kids who get these words stop reporting it.
Wow.
Yeah, they stop.
Because it's a trauma.
Yeah, it is. And also, they don't want to be associated with it. They know nothing will
Oh.
be done.
Then bullying will
And then
just
also,
follow.
the kids who know it's bad start hiding. They will say it in separate rooms, and giggling, and it's everywhere. It's everything we watch. It's all over. It's it's just like random posters. So I think the time to teach it is not in a separate class. I think it's actually just including genuine history in whatever you do. Everything has an historical context.
My
So you're
expe-
not like directly saying, but because when they say, "Oh, I wasn't around that time," how am I responsible? They're
Yeah.
right.
I like this because my experience with Icelandic people is that maybe they don't know,
Mm-hmm.
and the moment they are educated about it, they
Mhm.
understand
Yeah.
where you come from, what's
Yeah.
your history, as you
Mhm.
mentioned.
Yeah.
Their perspective opens up
Yeah.
because they are very open to learn something
Yeah.
new,
Mm-hmm.
and this comes as something new to them.
Yeah. Mhm.
In many cases, it's just ignorance.
In some cases, yes. In some cases, it's also a tease. But I think the Icelandic way, it's always been like a grin,
It's
You're
just
a
a joke.
joker. You meant eh?
Oh,
But
it
it's
can go a
just-
long way.
Yeah, and that's why I prefer to advocate for
Mhm.
the children who are being harmed and actually instill that confidence in them and spend as much time. That's what I've been trying to have, like a support system.
Mhm.
And every time I've applied for something like that, I've had like ideas around that. It's just been like denied, 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 denied.
Why is that?
I think, and this is another thing. I think sometimes when people see that you want to focus on things like that, they say that we just want something for all the kids, or for all everyone.
Yeah.
We don't want like an exclusion. I feel the other one that you were going to teach people racism is the exclusion.
Mm-hmm.
But having like advocacy support for people who already experienced that is empowerment.
But that's very important
Yeah.
because I know we know each other for so long. We talk a
Yeah.
lot about a lot of things, but it's like if we don't address this with the person that's experiencing the
Mhm.
problem,
Yeah.
it would maybe repeat by that person
Mhm.
towards other person.
Yes. Absolutely.
I mean, we,
yeah.
we have so many
No,
cultures
but
and
also, even if
colors
it
and
doesn't repeat, I think they internalize it. What was said
also
to them,
that.
they believe is true. They
Oof.
start hiding their hair. They start like bleaching their skin. They distance themselves from everyone. They don't participate as they should. And for me, it starts at home. My kids are very confident, but it's not because like we never have like, I'm not gonna talk about racism, but I've instilled them in the things that they do. How they appreciate, their hair. If something is said to them, and some of them have been around when something is said to me.
Yeah.
So
wow.
they've learned. I remember one time we were at a pool. We were at a pool in Akureyri, a swimming pool, and we already naked. We were about to go take a shower. My daughter is behind me. I was waiting for her. She was in the toilet. So she comes out and she just sees this lady like completely brushing my hand. And
Brushing.
yeah. This lady just, and we're naked, it's a bathroom.
What?
So this lady
Why is she
brushes,
into your
she
space?
brushes my skin, and she said, "You're so soft." And then she said, "Wow, you're so dark. Kwa fick du såna lit? Like, you are so dark.
Where did you get
this
color?
color?" And then I just turned around and
Thank
I
Mom and
brushed her
Dad.
skin, and I told her, "You are so pale. Where did you get that skin?"
Stop.
And my daughter completely lost it. She lost it.
Yeah.
She just threw her hair product, ran to the shower. I'm just seeing her dressing, and then she
my
ran
gosh.
out. And she ran out to tell her brother.
Yeah, she needed
So
to
she's
tell
running
someone.
And she couldn't speak because I couldn't find her.
Wow.
And then the lady is like, "You main tickets," and I'm like, "Neither did I."
Oh, wow.
But
Yeah.
I don't have time for this
No,
anymore.
no.
I don't get pissed, but I will respond.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean,
and I'm as calm as your sentence.
it's not about getting angry here.
No.
Because she really is just curious.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's good to make awareness.
Yeah.
When you're saying you're pale,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, so you look at me, I can look at you.
Yeah.
While otherwise, you will just go your way and I will go mine.
Yeah.
Now we're just crossing paths.
The girls were laughing, and it was so funny. I don't even know
It
because
is
I was
very
hysterical.
fun.
Because I was just like, I got it from my mom. You're so pale. Where did you get yours? Because
Yeah.
we can all, let's discuss about where we get our colors.
That's new.
But my daughter using it. She's using it now. I think
Oh, wow.
the other day, because one of her friends was telling me, like, one of her friends was asking, a random person was asking her that her hair is so curly, if she can comb it, and she asked back. She said, "Can you comb yours?"
Wow. But that's confidence.
Yes.
Because if we don't have the confidence, how can we think so fast?
Yeah.
And answer back.
And that confidence, it starts at home. It starts with us. It's just like, I don't worry about my kids. They're good.
Wow. But this is so important.
They're good. Yeah,
It's
they're
so
good.
important.
We don't like go of. I've also felt like they were so young and I didn't know how to address it. They're growing up in an environment different from mine.
Yeah.
I had just a black population. I never had to think about race.
No.
And then all of a sudden I come here and everyone go black, 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 black. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's like the first thing that comes to their mind.
Yes.
You different.
And then they're growing up in a class where they're different.
Yeah.
by default.
But there,
Whether they want it
yes.
or not, there's someone who's gonna make a comment, and it's not always a bad comment. Actually, most of the times it's a good comment, but it's still attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. Yeah, true. Because it's like I'm doing my own, I'm minding my own business, and then
Yeah.
somebody's just like, hey,
Yeah,
talking.
yeah,
Why are you like you are? Like,
yeah,
oh, I haven't think about it.
yeah.
Give me a minute. I'll come back with history. Let me explain.
Yeah, just ask the same thing. I just tell them, just whatever was asked, ask it back. The same thing.
That is very
Don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah.
But when you're giving these classes and courses, you're educating like the bosses, like the company,
Yeah,
business
no, that's
owners.
different because it's first of all, it's coming from a place of power,
hmm
and also they're also not kids.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So they can handle
so
it.
everything you can adjust. Like if I'm talking to a tech company, I would have to have something that is relatable to it. We have so many examples where tech is harmful in different ways, not just from a racial length, but also disability. And so you have a historic context, and you have like these are the people who are creating everything that we use. And then everyone who's in a high position in tech is white and male. But they're supposed to create something that works for me as a Black woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so if they don't use the samples with people like me, they will end up creating the racist soap.
Yeah, without wanting to
Dispenser.
do that.
Yes.
But they just end up doing it.
Yeah. But that is racism because it's built into the system.
Your company is Inclusive Iceland.
Correct.
And it's about inclusion, not just racism. It's also LGBT. I cannot even
basically-
say the full name. I don't know it all.
You can just say queer.
Queer,
Yeah, queer people, but you can also say LGBTQ.
LGBTQ, but now it's more.
Yes.
Now it's not just LGBTQ. That's where I was stopping. Like, okay,
Yeah.
so if I go Q, then I should do plus something.
Yes.
It's so interesting. But you mentioned also disabilities.
Yeah.
So because inclusion is not just race, it's
Actually,
not just
the
foreign.
word inclusion and the system of inclusion came from people with disability.
Oh.
It's their word, it's their design. And what for them it was like we have built a whole world without thinking about them. But almost everyone will experience disability at one point or another. Whether you'll break your leg, you'll grow old,
Back
you
pain.
might lose your eyesight. And then now what we talk about, like and this started just in school, and things they were asking for, and actually not that it's just human rights. So like the trolleys and the what do you call it, like just like the doors, how things are designed, for someone with disability, when they see it, they think about it. You just walk through the door without thinking about it.
And normally with my right hand.
Yeah. But then when we design for them, we design for everyone. It's just now when you think about like your AirPods, they were not designed for us. They were designed for convenience for people with disability. But now we're all enjoying it.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. You
and
see?
also, like, they say like iPhones are the most user-friendly for people with disability, but they're also more expensive. But there's so many things that we do there that we think it's for our convenience, but they're actually tested first by people with disability because they need it. Yeah. For you, it's just like extra convenience.
But that's so
But then
good
when you think about it, like if you break your leg today and then you have to go somewhere and it's all like stairs or there's no accessibility, then you're excluding people, and now when you think about it, it's when you're designing something today, you have to have disability in mind. Yeah.
Well, but this is this is key. So we have to have disability in mind.
Your access, actually.
Okay,
Yeah.
access, immigration, gender. color or
Yeah.
race,
Mm-hmm.
culture.
Yeah.
It's so much. It's a lot.
It's
I think
different.
I just hire you and you take care of
No, but
it.
you can also think about it like this. I if you think of Iceland as this gender paradise,
Mhm.
it makes sense because in 1975 when they're all walking out of the office, majority of them were all just Icelandic,
Yeah,
I would say. Yeah, yeah,
homogeneous.
yeah. And my concept is usually design in
Oh,
things. Like things
mhm.
are not like it's usually not it's easier to have something that helps everyone than try to add more components later. For an Icelandic system, it would make sense because immigration started coming on later.
Mhm.
But it happened also really fast, but it didn't happen like all at once. So the design system here, if you think that okay, the system worked for Icelandic women for a really long time, but then now when you start to look at other statistics, like who are the most women who are suffering gender violence, you see that the statistics start coming out. So now instead of thinking about it like, oh, these are all different things, it's just one thing. I think race and LGBTQ are not different things because we have black people who are queer, and you might have black people who are all they're queer and they have a disability. So when you work on one and not the other, you're still leaving people out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you think about it, it's actually not that much. They're not that much. It's just like the system, when you have specialists who understand this, you're working towards one goal. But then when you have people who are in these positions who will never look like me, then you're continuing with the same system.
I have this very specific question
Okay.
about identity and acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
You have been living in Iceland, in Europe, for
Okay.
very long.
Yeah.
And you were mentioning there are things that you are already living from your own,
Yeah.
like your own identity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I really don't know how to put this. It's not your old identity because all of this is what have created who you are.
Yeah.
But what is this something that you refuse to leave behind?
Hmm.
Something that you refuse from your old you because it's not a culture that was around you, but it's who you
Yeah.
were before you came.
I want to say my food.
You're sharing that with your kids.
Yeah. With my kids, like if I'm gonna have a party, there's usually like some Kenyan dishes always.
Mention some.
Ooh, I would say I make the best beans.
The best beans.
Bean stew, yeah, for sure.
Oh, is that a
Uh,
Kenyan thing?
Beans, yes. And again, because I mentioned we have very different ethnicities, you'll get different meals depending on where you're from. Like I would say,
Okay.
like where my parents would be from, we eat more fish, so we'll have more tilapia, like fresh.
I love tilapia
Yeah, me
fish.
too, me too. Yeah, so I think food, hair, I would say, but the thing about also coming from home and being a colonized country, we
Mm-hmm.
have elements of colonization that we don't know of. So you come
Mm.
here and you start unlearning them yourself. Things like
Mm.
hair, like
Mhm.
all through school, I had straightened hair.
Oh,
Yeah. So me wearing my natural hair started here.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yes. It started here. In Kenya, they still punish people. They still want people to have like the British style, just cornrows, push back, don't have the afro, don't have the dreads. Yeah. So the colonization just happened a lot also in the institutions and in workplaces, and it's still like that in Kenya.
Oh,
They
okay.
still prefer, like even in courts, you see like them with the ugly European like white head. You see judges with them, they look so bad. They look really bad. I'm like, why
Yeah.
are you doing this? It's super hot. You're sweating.
Yeah.
You're in a court. I don't recognize you. You are
Oh,
in like
wow.
these suits. Yeah.
It's better to be ourselves.
Yeah.
I would say this is something that I am going back to.
Yeah.
And I read in a book that when you start belonging
Mm-hmm.
and you're stop trying to fit in, and when because they're like enemies or like counterparts, you
Mm-hmm.
cannot belong and try to fit in, because
Mm-hmm.
fitting in is trying to,
You are denying yourself parts of
yeah,
yourself.
change who I am, trying to
Mm-hmm.
adjust
Yeah.
to
And
what I
it's
see
more
around
work.
me.
Can you imagine me like just straightening my hair, like just the process and trying to what we actually use the names presentable.
That's presentable.
Y-
To not be with our own hair.
Yeah, but
Oh,
these are like professional hair. Like when you Google professional hair, what comes up?
a lot of
Yeah,
hair made up,
yeah.
something.
You would never see like an afro.
For real
Yeah.
hair, no. But you know what? Like I love my curl hair, my real hair,
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
human hair,
Mhm.
my human hair. That sounds so weird. Why did I say that? I have no idea what am I saying. But like I love my hair,
Yeah.
but I also grew up changing my hair every 15 days.
But that's also our culture. We change.
Every
We
15
we are
days,
just vibrant.
never the
people.
same.
Yeah.
People still like,
That-
I know, I don't know how you
Yeah.
will look like after a
Yeah.
month if I
That's
see
a
you.
good thing though. You enjoy it. I just mean like being uncomfortable with who you are.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I'm
in
doing
that
other
sense.
things
Yeah, okay.
because I stopped eating with my hands, like the burger taking with my hands or touching food with my hands. That's something that I stopped completely.
Oh, really?
Yes, that when I was 14, I stopped eating or touching food with my hands, unless when I'm cooking or something like that, but not like eating. And then I say, okay, I love who I am.
Yes.
I love where I come from. Maybe learning about history has helped.
Yes.
And also that I'm not afraid anymore to show who I am for real.
Yeah.
It feels so good.
Isn't it liberating?
It is. So belonging is
Yeah.
something that we look forward to.
Yeah.
And inclusion, it's to help people feel they belong, isn't it?
Yeah. I often say like inclusion because I use Inclusive Iceland, but my idea was to have inclusion as the last step. Because you can't include people into systems that are not
allowing
fixed yet. So I think how people do inclusion now, it's like you've mentioned all this like LGBTQ, you mentioned disability, and then they'll go and they say like, oh, we want to hire people and we want to be inclusive. So they hire them without fixing the discrimination that exists in their company. That is where people go wrong. Because hiring people who are different as your rainbow staff won't fix it. It will escalate it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's you're just making more problems.
You're making like a representation for your needs. Yeah. So it's not because you want them to do the job, because when they bring proposal, you're still going to deny it. But it's just, they're just tokens. You're using them as a token. So it will look like you're inclusive, but that's just diversity. That's not inclusion. That's just showing me people who are different. But real inclusion comes from actually dismantling toxic practices in the office. So that even if you want to have, because also very toxic places, they will hire someone like me to do their work. And you've had this woman, there's a woman who says, Black women in high places won't save you.
Wow.
It won't save you because you're bringing people to high places thinking that it will change the system, but it doesn't. The system harms those people and it makes them, because then I will speak with confidence and just harm people who look like me because I got the job.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they've been doing here as inclusion. They want like, sometimes they even say like, we don't have a Black woman.
But I hear this, like diversity. And I always go like, what is diversity? Only having men and adding a woman to the team? Is that diversity?
That is diversity just is just it is. We are diverse. Like if I look at Iceland today and I walk around Laugavegard, there's so many different restaurants. There's so many things. We are here.
That's diversity.
That's diversity.
We like different food.
Yes, we do it. But the way, like, one is like people go like, oh, if you're not invited to the table, just build your own. And sometimes
Oh,
people
yeah.
do that and it works. And I get it because it's very hard to fight systems that won't acknowledge your existence. So if you do it and you have the funds and it works,
Yeah.
it's not easy.
But not everybody has the funds,
Not
and that's the
everyone has the
problem.
funds. Not everyone has the capability of starting something on their own. Not everyone will have a support.
The support.
So it depends on a lot
Network.
of things. And we have a system and we can work to build things that work for everyone.
It is so hard. This is like
Yeah.
a question that is impossible to answer completely. For real, because it's like, okay, I'm like trying to digest this. Like, okay,
Yeah.
we're going to make inclusion.
Mhm.
So everybody feel they are part of this system. And we're
Yeah.
going to try to fix things and amend things so they are here and they feel happy so they can belong. They can be happy
Yeah.
with who they are,
Yeah.
how they are.
Yeah.
But what works for one doesn't work for the other.
Mm-hmm.
And if we are only focusing on them, we're
Yeah.
neglecting the locals.
But
To-
inclusion shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't neglect anyone at all. And that's why I'm also saying like doing it as separate windows
Mhm.
gives that impression. First of all, you're making it harder for those who are already excluded. And also it gives that impression that you are excluding others. But what if your workplace actually integrated those things every day?
Yeah.
Then it creates more understanding than just trying to pick out individuals who sometimes even don't want to be picked because they know. Like I get a very different answer when I speak to immigrants of color
Mhm.
and when I speak to immigrants and also when I speak to just Icelanders. It's very different because sometimes people would be comfortable talking to me
True.
and they don't want to be targeted.
Yeah, true. Because
Yeah.
they don't want to be snitched
Mhm.
or
Yeah. And then
misunderstood.
with the Icelanders also, they would not want to tell me anything because they don't want to make any mistake.
Oh,
Yeah. So there has to be like some sort of trust. And the way
Yeah.
you build trust is from working in a very surface level
feel safe.
without creating all this.
Feel safe. You can talk.
Mhm.
You can
Yeah.
be. You can exist.
Yes.
Wow,
Mhm. Yeah.
it's so good if the world was like that, Achi.
I know. But I mean, these boxes were created a long time ago. We didn't do it because these are identities that people, if you mention something, they have something in their head, but
Mhm.
they have to ask themselves, why is it? Why do you think like that?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, if we have empathy,
Mm-hmm.
we can try to understand the other
Yeah.
person.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm such a skeptic. Like
Oh.
the moment I hear empathy, my
Uh-huh.
head just goes like scientifically,
Yeah.
people empathize towards those who look like them.
Wow. That's also true. And that's why people try to fit in. And that's not what we want. We don't try to fit in. Just
Yeah,
be who you are,
Yeah.
and they will accept you. How? By
think-
showing them who I am. Is that enough?
No, I don't advocate for more work towards people who already face discrimination.
Mm.
I think I've just turned that around
Mhm.
and I do it differently if it's like those who face discrimination. I would rather like just build more confidence in them. Find out why.
Yeah, and maybe
why
find
is this
help.
like yeah.
Because it's so hard for a person that's experiencing all this mistreated
Mhm.
and misunderstandings
yeah.
alone,
Yes, exactly.
and feel like, oh, okay,
Mhm.
I don't belong, I don't fit, I'm not okay. All of my issues, people's racist towards me, and still just think because this doesn't go. It will
No.
just like a steer wheel in their head, like I'm
Mm-hmm.
alone. But it's good to
Yeah.
know. It's good for
It's
them to
also
know they're
harmful.
not alone.
Yeah, absolutely.
There are companies like yours, and there is people like you
Mm-hmm.
thinking about this, trying to help, to
Mm-hmm.
mediate, to be
Yeah.
between both worlds because you understand them,
Yeah.
especially having a lot of like this diverse background.
Yes.
That's very good.
That helps. That
Yeah,
helps.
that's a
I
lot of
think
experience.
that is where like I gravitate to. It's just like you look at it and you're like, you know what? It's good that I had this upbringing because it prepared you
Mhm.
for another space without knowing. Because sometimes you also forget and then you go back and you're like, I had it good.
Yeah.
I had it good, and I think that um that encourages you in many ways, and also as a parent, I think you learn to understand your kids differently because they are growing up in a very different environment.
Hmm.
Yeah,
True.
some things are better, some things are a challenge. Yeah,
Is there something you hope the next generation will do better than we have done?
yeah. I hope that they will question things more, and I think they are in that sense. I feel like millennials, I feel like that we are the generation who did everything right.
We think.
I feel like we did everything
we
right.
did we did great.
but but doing it right doesn't mean that we I don't know, we just follow the rules, and then it's been harder for us now even after doing everything right. But I think the generation that's coming along, they don't agree to the sort of like work culture,
The
and
status
they
quo. They
question
question the
things. Yeah,
status
yeah, yeah,
quo.
yeah, yeah. They question
So that's like the very important thing.
it.
To be open, to
Yeah,
learn and
yeah,
question. Is this
yeah,
correct?
uh-huh,
Should this, because like
yeah.
in the instance you experience in the bathroom in the swimming pool,
Yes,
like why nobody stepped in, for
they were
example.
also feeling awkward. Ah,
So people could question like,
yeah,
is this correct?
yeah.
Maybe
For
you
me,
know what,
it's the
don't do this.
touching also. Just someone randomly touching you naked. First of all, why?
She was very confident with herself.
Yes, I think she'll remember me forever, forever.
And so will we,
Yeah.
because this story I've never heard before.
Ask Alfie that story. The next time you see her, bring it up.
I will.
She laughed. She laughed so much. Like the entire time, I found her trying to tell her brother, and she could not. She was just like, what?
But I try to look at myself. What if I experience something similar? I don't know what I will do.
Do that.
It is the lack of confidence
Yeah.
because I will feel so awkward and
Mhm.
like you ask, you touched me. There's so many things happening.
At the same time, but also this is something that I've built because it's happened so many times that
Mhm.
every time we do it better. Sometimes it'll happen. I'm like, why didn't I stand up for myself? I just went home.
We have to stand for ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I think making people question their position is the best way to have them think. I don't want to argue with you why.
Hmm.
Yeah, just ask the same thing.
Yeah. Like reply. That's a good uh like not teaching, like a good thing we can learn from this.
Yeah, yeah. But I think also kids just questioning why this is like this. It it helps them to get more answers.
Yeah.
In another world, we'll say like decolonization, but I don't even know if they learn colonization at all in schools here.
In Iceland,
I don't think so.
in the Nordics, I don't think so.
No.
They only learn maybe their own Scandinavian history and
Yeah. Yeah. And then when you look at it, I'm just thinking, okay, fine. You never learned colonization, but you learned how to give 10 shillings to a poor child in Africa. So I'm like,
oof.
one of them
I will invite
resulted
you
to
again for
another.
that topic because Like I'm against that because when I went to London, the
Yeah.
first thing I watched on the TV was kids that look like me,
Yeah.
very skinny, it's
Mhm.
like in pain, and I was
Yeah.
like, I want to help. That's like the first feeling. But I'm so against it.
Me too.
We don't want to talk about racism,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't want to address this type of things.
Yes.
But this is like, why is this
Yeah. But
exist?
I've been sending just question to these institutions that do this. Most of the times I don't get a question. I don't get an answer. Like now my son is going through confirmation, and just cut me off if we are out of time.
No, it's okay. No.
Okay. So my son is going through confirmation, and I've been asking the same question. Every year when kids were getting confirmed,
Mhm.
they have a project that they have to do. That project is usually them going to people's houses to ask for penning money
Yeah.
to send to Africa. Every year I get a kid on my house knocking. And now my kids, they find it so funny when
Mhm.
someone knocks and they're like, oh, I'll take a cling to like our kids in Africa. My son always goes like, which country in Africa?
He knows Africa so well. Which country?
Yeah. So now, because I didn't know, I mean, we both don't go to church, and I didn't know if he's going to choose to be confirmed or not. It was all up to him, and
Uh-huh.
he wants to do it.
Yeah.
And I had told him, when they start that project, you're not going to do it. Okay, Mom.
Mm.
So I wasn't sure how is he. I mean, he's a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just last year, because when they go for classes, they eat, they stay. So he said, Mom, don't count me for dinner. I'm going to eat at church. So he goes, and that was the day to do that project. So all of a sudden, I'm seeing him home.
Okay.
And I'm like, why are you home? And he said, oh, they were doing that Africa thing.
The Africa
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how he said it. They
Yeah,
were doing that Africa
true.
thing. I said, okay, so you just walked out? He said, no, I told my teacher. And I said, what did you say? He said, Mama min leave me again.
That was a good one. Good scape.
Yeah.
Goat.
And then do you know what the teacher told her?
No.
Yvonne, tu är lua.
Oop, oop, oop.
Like, I hope you're not lying.
Yeah.
So he came home. And I was thinking, shall I email them? I'm still waiting for an answer.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because every year I've been sending, every time I see it, I've been sending them. I was telling them, this is not the way. A few people have put my name and asked me, did they call you? Because because I've been talking about it, every time it happens to their kid, they tell me, let's not talk about it. They just sweep it under the rag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these things that they say they go to Africa.
Yeah.
There was a guy that put a track on the shoes, and this is sent to Africa.
Yeah.
And then he found that it was on a shop in Bulgaria or something like that being sold there.
Yeah.
So these things are not going to Africa.
It's a whole topic.
It's crazy topic.
But also, you can't not teach colonization and then start with poverty.
Yeah.
It's like the story of Africa, which is 54 countries, by the way. Forget. 54
not
countries,
one country.
but
Many
it
people
says
think Africa is one country. Africa.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we all black people, you all come from Africa.
Yeah,
right.
Some countries
Not really.
I can't even name offhand.
Yeah. Yeah. 54 countries.
Yeah, because they started adding some way after because of some. I told you, like colonization, it was basically they were just dividing Africa like a pie, the European countries. So some countries have been just in civil war because they never really got along. So countries like South Sudan, which is like the youngest countries, they've been adding them. They just agree to like split. We can't live together. Let's just agree. You are another country. So countries have been adding up because of that. So yeah, today there are 54 countries.
But it didn't start with poverty. It started with having so many resources, so many things being taken away, being robbed,
Until
stolen,
today.
split, and give it away to everybody.
Yes, yeah. And so for me, I would rather teach that than teach racism.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, because it helps you understand why we have inequality, how the inequality have been sustained, and it is until today, and why we think we are more superior than the other, because that's also where it comes from. Here it's not really like racism, but it's thinking they're superior. People just say it.
And I mean, if I'm collecting for the poor, it means that I'm not.
Yes, and I'm good. I'm a good person.
But there is an association for poor people
Yes.
in Iceland, and there is
Yes.
poor people in Iceland.
Yeah.
Why is church not saving money to help that poor
Yeah.
association instead of sending it to Africa?
Yeah.
It's unnecessary.
It's because they've created a system that helps them. So by having that as a project, they are employed. They can send people to Africa. They can, like, it's a whole development system as a whole needs to change. It really needs to change, because we're always talking about, like, yeah, and now, when they talk about it, some Icelanders say, like, oh, you have to teach a man how to fish. I'm not denying that. But then in Kenya, we have another layer. Don't give a man a fish. And then here they're saying, okay, teach a man how to fish. But then in Kenya, sometimes they say, but the sea is polluted. And that sea
So find a different way.
it's a system. You can't fish where the system is polluted, because the system already has been rigged against us. So we are fishing. It's not like we don't know how to fish. We are doing them, but the system is the ecosystem, all of it.
Yeah.
The sea is polluted.
So they have to find something else to do.
Yeah, and they're finding something else, and someone else gets it and takes it away.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's trying to put a poor child's face on a container
That's
so
nasty.
Yeah.
And that's old days. That's old fashioned. They need to do some new type of marketing.
Yeah. And again, it's like, if you want to really help, then just do something more sustainable.
You know what I was thinking?
Yeah.
They have to put the face of Bill Gates.
Yes.
Have you seen Bill Gates drinking water?
No, I haven't.
That's crazy. They were generating water out of poop. I mean, Bill Gates drinking poop water. That's nice marketing.
Yeah.
Help Africa. It means help growth and tech
Yeah.
and all of that. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm all in.
Yeah.
If you put the face on,
Yes.
I will.
I'm all for it.
I will clap.
I'm all for it.
That's it. It was such a good moment having you. Thank you for being here
Thank
with
you
me.
for having me.